My Destined 1, Tensura x Arifureta by Void Kane. Ch 40. The seven archangels. Sariel had just become an archangel and no one understood a thing. Not only that, but she said she was created by Veldanava. This was very strange because these were things that exist only in Rimuru's world. In addition, few people knew the name of God, and so Rimuru was shocked. Sariel-san, could you explain it to me better? Yes, Rimuru-sama. My memories are coming back and I think the memories of the other seven will come back quickly, meanwhile. Ha ha ha. Sariel was interrupted by a loud laugh. It was an evil laugh with a masculine tone. This was not a time to laugh, so everyone was confused and looked in the direction of the laughter. There was Metatron laughing out loud. It was you, wasn't it? Now I remember. Sariel spoke angrily. Metatron stopped laughing and said, "It was obviously me." "Why? It's obviously isn't it? You bastards left me out, so I was going to rule all of you. But even after I erased your memories and took away your powers, you still chose her as your leader." Metatron said and pointed at Lucifer. All the other seven were also regaining their memories and couldn't say anything as they were submerged in thought. Chloe was at the front of the group as she thought a fight would happen. "You bastard." Sariel was very angry. Metatron just smiled and said, "I thought that being the first, you would make me your leader. Yet even though I am the one who guided you, even though I am the one who taught you everything you know, you still chose Lucifer." Everyone, including Veldanava, agreed that she would be better than you. Pact Veldanava. I did everything to rule you. I trapped you here and even sealed your angelic forms so your memories wouldn't come back. Do you know how hard that was? Sariel couldn't take it anymore and attacked him. Her bracelets glowed and a white double-edged sword appeared in her hand. She attacks Metatron with a vertical strike. As Sariel came to attack, Metatron began to change. His hair grew, his beard disappeared, and armor covered him. He also drew a large blue sword and 4 wings appeared on his back. He raised his hand towards Sariel and, King of Purity Metatron. Zuu. Metatron spoke and cast a giant golden beam of light. Sariel had expected this and fought the beam with his spear. Sariel could not fight the beam and let out a groan of surprise. She was thrown far away, but before the attack could hit her. "Are you okay?" Rimuru stopped in front of the attack and used a barrier. He was also surprised to see Leon's skills being used here. Rimuru-sama. Yes, I'm fine." Sariel stood up and Metatron stopped using his attack. Sariel looked at him cautiously and Metatron gave a smug smile. "How did you get so strong? You've never beaten me before." It made sense that Metatron was weaker than her, since he wasn't even one of the 7 archangels' mortals. "Oh, Sariel. I received help from someone very powerful. Ha ha ha. I got help from the gods themselves," he said with a psychotic face. Sariel and Rimuru were confused. Sariel wanted to buy time for the others to recover their memories, so he asked, "Why would they help you? They are our enemies." "You are still very naive, Sariel. Think of it this way, what if the light of life exploded? We would be left without a home and souls, but then the gods would come and save us. Everyone would be very grateful to them and swear loyalty to them. Hence they appointed me the new leader of the angels." What the? Sariel and Rimuru were startled at how far off the mark he had thought and how frightening his plan was. Not only that, but he had also allied himself with his enemies just to rule over the angels. "It was you who? Huh? Me who destabilized the light of life? Obviously. The piece that Raphael took out wouldn't cause anything. The only unforeseen events were the death of Abaddon and Milo and the appearance of these people." Apparently Metatron had planned everything and it was even he who had destabilized the light of life. Everyone in the room made shocked expressions at the revelation. Minus the Reaper's angels who were unconscious recovering their memories. Metatron pointed at Rimuru and continued to speak. "If he hadn't come, everything would be as planned, but he has now recovered his memories and those of the other 7. I can't let the others see you. If they remember, they will never take me as their leader. So I will kill all of you here until you have fully recovered." Apparently just from seeing another angel, the Reapers recovered their memories and in time their old forms. Rimuru, Sariel and Chloe got into combat position. Hajime and the others realized that they would only get in the way and were thinking of a way to escape. An orb that glowed light blue appeared in Metatron's hand. He raised the orb upwards and said, Veldanava gave this to Lucifer in case a very strong enemy appeared. I took it after I erased his memories. Good thing I kept it. The orb glowed brightly and Metatron said, Mythological prison. The orb released a bright blue energy and all energy went towards Rimuru. Warning. Powerful energy coming. Rimuru realized that this would be dangerous because of Ciel's reaction. He used several absolute barriers, but the energy just ignored the barriers and continued. Tisk. Rimuru clicked his tongue and swerved. The energy followed him at high speed and Rimuru realized he was going to get caught. So he used his ability that he had analyzed from Chloe, King of Space-Time Yog Sothoth, but the energy kept moving towards him. Metatron, Chloe and the Seven could move with time stopped, but Rimuru's group could not. Metatron and Sariel were fighting while Chloe protected the others. Meanwhile the blue energy only got faster and followed Rimuru even with time stopped. It was expected from something created by Veldanava. Rimuru tried to escape with every method he could, but he couldn't. Boom, a bang resounded and a transparent barrier formed around Rimuru. This prison had been created by Veldanava and was not going to be broken easily. So Rimuru used thought acceleration. Ciel-san, is there any way to undo this barrier? If I use Void God Azathoth I can, but it will take a while. In that time the Seven could end up dying, right? By my calculations the chances are low. When they wake up, the Master can name them even from inside the barrier. Then they will defeat Metatron together and can take out their anger for losing their memories. That would be a good revenge for them, but what if they took a long time to wake up? Then I will release the seal and the Master will free himself on the spot. Yes. We can always release the seal. Wouldn't it be better to release it now just to make sure? I don't think so. If the Master released his other abilities, in his own words, it would be too easy. I don't think the Master should depend on his sealed abilities if he doesn't want to go back to the boredom he was living. The seal was to block Rimuru's most powerful abilities. These abilities were even too convenient, and it was these abilities that made Rimuru bored in the other world and even developed depression. Seal who suggested that Rimuru should seal these abilities if he wanted to live a less monotonous life. Rimuru has always trusted Seal and accepted. Rimuru almost released the seal several times. Like the time Hajime fell into the abyss. He would also release it if the light of life exploded and the Reapers died. Fine. Let's not release the seal and let's follow Ciel-san's plan then. Yes. Then the Master can live a good life with me. What? I said the Master can live a good life with me. Rimuru felt that there was some bracketing in Ciel's speech, but thought it best to ignore it. He deactivated thought acceleration and said to Sariel. Sariel-san. Hold him until I can destroy that barrier. Yes, Rimuru-sama. Sariel agreed and continued to fight Metatron. Rimuru wanted to ask why, Sama, but thought it best to leave it for later. Tchin the weapons of the two clashed and Sariel was forced back by Metatron's strength. Metatron raised his hand slightly. Covenant King Uriel. A barrier formed around Metatron. Sariel widened her eyes and looked at Uriel who was still slumped on the ground. She then looked at Metatron cautiously. How did you do that? That's not your ability. Haha. That's more of a gift. I got some of your skills. By Metatron's words. One of the gods had gifted him with power to copy or steal some of the Archangel's abilities. It looks like you couldn't copy my ability, am I right? How do you know that? Sariel said in an arrogant tone and Metatron was confused. Sariel shortened the distance between the two. If you knew my ability, you wouldn't have used that barrier, King of Hope Sariel. She drove her double sword into the barrier that was supposed to be unbreakable and broke it. Metatron was surprised and tried to back away, but received the attack anyway. He received a wound on his shoulder and backed away. Rimuru and Chloe knew what this ability was. That's because Chloe also had this skill, Hope King Sariel, which was a very varied skill, but its main function was absolute separation that surpassed logic. It was used for difficult situations such as cutting through an absolute barrier. If it wasn't for Gabriel's ability you could have killed me. Looks like I'm going to have to take things seriously. Metatron said this and took out another large black-colored sword. Ciel analyzed it and told Rimuru that this energy was demonic energy. Die. He spoke up and went off on Sariel. Tchin. The two exchanged blows and Sariel seemed at a disadvantage. As they exchanged blows, Metatron looked more and more hateful. At this moment Gabriel woke up. What's going on? He asked, half drowsy. He saw the fight going on and saw Rimuru trapped. You are Gabriel. Just as Seal said. The others were waking up and Rimuru named Gabriel the same time he woke up. Boom, a bang resounded and a cocoon of black energy formed around Gabriel. Gabriel was regaining his angelic form and the cocoon fell apart. Gabriel gained black and red wings, his hair turned black and his clothes red. Metatron. Gabriel remembered and looked in the direction of the fight. Sariel was half injured, but still standing. Metatron was with only a small wound on his shoulder. Finally, Sariel spoke as she saw him, but Metatron strangely did not seem concerned about Gabriel's awakening. Gabriel took two black karambit in his hands and set off on Metatron. You bastard! The knives glowed white and let out two beams of light. Tsuuuuu Metatron fought back with his supreme skill and the side of the room Gabriel was in began to freeze with the beam. This was probably the King of Patience Gabriel skill that Velzard also had. This skill had ice powers and greatly increased the user's defense. Gabriel, you cannot defeat me, I have your ability. Maybe not, but we both can. As he spoke, Sariel attacked Metatron with his spear at high speed. However, Metatron just smiled and kicked her. She was about to be hit, but Gabriel stopped in front of her and made an ice barrier. At this moment they heard a voice, you are Raphael. Boom, Rimuru named the newly awakened Raphael and a great golden energy began to pour out of him. He regained his angelic form and his appearance and clothes changed. His wings and clothes were golden and he had two swords, one golden and one silver. Metatron, you have become powerful. Raphael did not attack like the others, he stood watching Metatron as if analyzing him. Oh, the analyst has woken up. Let's see what you are capable of now. Metatron said and took off on Raphael flying with his two swords, but Gabriel and Sariel got in front of him. This made Metatron back off a bit. Raphael, what do we do? Sariel asked and stood on guard for Metatron who was coming. Hold him while I speed up Lucifer's awakening, yes. The two agreed to Raphael's orders. Rimuru was confused of why they obeyed and even respected Raphael who previously had the most pitiful personality among the seven. Raphael-san seems more respectable, or even, more dignified. This is probably because of his supreme ability. If we follow the pattern he should have the King of Wisdom Raphael skill from which I originate. I get it. Rimuru understood what Seal meant. This skill was great at analysis and formulating strategies. So if Raphael had it, he would be a great leader in battle. Give up and die. Metatron spoke and threw his swords into the air. The swords turned into magical energy and went towards him. The energy merged with him and two of his wings began to pluck. When the feathers fell off there was only a black wing reminiscent of gargoyles. His armor also turned gray and one of his eyes turned white. In addition, half of his hair turned red. That's demonic energy. Raphael confirmed Sariel's guess and Gabriel was dumbfounded. But he's an angel, how can he merge with that energy? Gabriel asked for an explanation as angels and demons were complete opposites. Not only that, but demons had a natural advantage to angels and so their energy was deadly to them. Gabriel only knew of one person who could fuse the two energies and Metatron was not her. Raphael then spoke up. Metatron, stop. If you continue this you will die. Even if you stay alive, you'll go crazy. You can't be like her. Raphael had hoped that Metatron still had salvation and was willing to let go of his resentment over Metatron stealing his memories, but it was already too late for Metatron. I can't be like her, of course I can. No, I'm even better than her. If you don't see that, just die. Metatron seemed obsessed, and both his tone and expression showed it. He made a silver blade of light in his right hand and attacked Gabriel. Kawa! Gabriel was speared away with a large horizontal cut on his belly. He hit the wall and spat blood. Metatron then moved in on Sariel and gave a vertical slash. Tchin Sariel used his supreme ability and fought back with his spear, but to no avail. Metatron used King of Purity on Sariel with his other hand and she was thrown backwards by the sword. Metatron was leaving to deliver the final blow. Chloe, who until now was protecting Hajime and the others who couldn't move, but she was going to interfere so as not to let Sariel die. Raphael, who was trying to wake Lucifer, was also about to interfere, but both they and Metatron stopped moving when they heard, "You are Michael." Another bang rang out and so did a flash. The Archangel Michael had awakened. "That's enough, Metatron." Michael also changed greatly in appearance. His armor turned into a bronze color with gold and he also had two swords. Miguel went flying towards Metatron slowly. His swords were floating around him, but he did not use them. Miguel just said, "Regalia Dominion." Metatron fell to the ground on his knees. He had his hands on his head as if he was in pain in his brain. This was the skill King of Justice Michael, or Michael in other languages. One of the uses of this skill was to control any user using angelic series skills. "That won't work." Metatron gave an angry scream and the demonic energy corrupted him further. His other wings turned black and lost their feathers as well. The rest of his golden hair turned black and his other eye turned white as well. He won the fight against the domain. How is this possible? Only the 7 primordial angels should be able to resist that. He's using demonic energy. Miguel was startled and Raphael explained it. Miguel then attacked with his 2 floating swords at the same time. PAAM, the swords hit the absolute barrier. Metatron went up to Miguel and gave him a powerful punch. Miguel let out a groan of pain and was thrown far and hit the wall. "I'm going to use the army." "Miguel, you can't, time stands still." Miguel was going to use his King of Justice ability to summon the angel army, but Raphael warned him that time stood still and it wouldn't work. Actually, it wouldn't work even if time was normal. That's because the army was decimated by Rimuru and the other demon lords some years ago. The 4 prepared to fight and a voice was heard, "You are Lucifer." Boom! Rimuru named the newly awakened Lucifer and the bang that was heard was much bigger than the others. Metatron looked at the red Mana cocoon with an obsessed face and the archangels looked on as if it was their salvation. The cocoon stopped glowing in. Metatron. Lucifer. The two looked at each other with hatred. Lucifer's appearance had also changed, but not so much. Her hair and clothes remained the same, but her skin was no longer pale. Her staff now looked more like a spear, and she also had a crown. In addition, she had 6 red wings and emanated an overwhelming pressure. "You can't beat me, you can't copy my skills, ha ha ha, die." Lucifer's supreme ability was King Proud Lucifer, who copied abilities that the user saw, but Metatron seemed to have a way to block it now. So he was confident of killing Lucifer and immediately attacked with a troubled look on his face. King of Purity Metatron. Poison King Samael. Metatron attacked and Lucifer launched 2 black orbs that turned into tentacles. These tentacles fought off Metatron's attack and he approached Lucifer. "Bow to me or die, die, die." Metatron was obsessed and the demonic energy consumed him even more, making his skin red. He tried several physical attacks on Lucifer, but "You are still naive." Ku. Metatron was thrown far away like an insect and hit the wall hard. He got a surprised and confused look on his face. "How did you?" Metatron. Lucifer quickly approached Metatron and lifted him up his neck. Metatron tried to struggle, but couldn't get free. Lucifer looked at him with contempt and continued speaking. "There is one of my abilities that you don't know about." "What?" Prideful King Lucifer. "You see, one of the peculiarities of this ability is that the angrier I am, the more powerful I get." That. Rimuru knew that ability. The demon lord Guy Crimson had it. And this skill mixed the skills, Prideful King Lucifer, and Wrathful King Satanel. Lucifer threw Metatron an angry look that made him shiver. "Now imagine how much anger I am feeling after centuries of me and those I am supposed to protect being brainwashed. Can you imagine?" Metatron could not answer as he was too scared to do so. Even though he was insane, Metatron was still afraid of death. "No need to imagine, since you will feel it in your skin." Lord of Light Samael. "No." Lucifer's eyes and wings glowed with a beautiful red light and Lucifer took out all his anger on Metatron. Wah! Metatron gave a horrifying screech. His wings shattered and his body glowed as if it was about to explode. After a while Metatron stopped glowing and fell to the ground in agony. His skin and hair returned to normal. This was because the demonic energy was destroyed by the ability Lucifer used. No. I can't lose. I will rule. Lucifer will bow to me. She deserves it. She took Samael. I am better than her. He was saying this with his voice agonizing. He was obsessed. Lucifer was about to deliver the final blow, but a voice interrupted it. Let me do it. It's my job. Everyone looked in the direction of the voice. Azrael. Lucifer argued. There was Azrael who had just awakened. Beside him were Uriel who had also awakened and Rimuru who had freed himself. Azrael's appearance had changed greatly. His clothes had become white with gold and his scythe had become a sword. The only thing that didn't change was that his face was still covered. Uriel changed a lot too. His skin now has a tan tone and his hair is dark brown. Her armor was a bronze color and she still had a shield. In addition, she had 2 blue angel wings and eyes of the same color. Azrael approached her and said, I am the Archangel of Death. Let me do it. Lucifer nodded in agreement and Azrael drew his sword. Metatron realized that he was about to die and said, You can't kill me. If you do, the prison will be broken, and they will escape. I did that as a guarantee. Metatron spoke with difficulty and the 7 were surprised at his words. This was because they knew who Metatron was referring to. Azrael looked at Lucifer with a questioned look as if to say, Should I kill him or not? Lucifer approached Metatron and stepped on his face. This causes Metatron to let out a groan of pain. If you did that you really would have gone crazy, but you know, I'd rather those 6 get free than leave you alive. She removed her foot and nodded to Azrael. Azrael raised his sword slightly and said, I never thought you would succumb to this much. I never thought the day would come when I would kill you. King of Death Azrael. A black sphere the size of a marble appeared at the tip of his sword. The sphere went toward Metatron. No, 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 no. Metatron went into despair and tried to run away, but the sphere caught up with him. Metatron's body glowed faintly and disappeared. Even his soul was destroyed without a trace, so he certainly would not be reincarnated. Everyone seemed relieved that it was over. Lucifer, Michael, Azrael, Uriel, Gabriel, Sariel, and Raphael collected their wings and put away their weapons. Then they turned to Rimuru. Rimuru was confused. They knelt down and declared in unison. Rimuru-sama, the 7 archangels of will are at your disposal. What? Filled circle, filled circle, filled circle in another dimension, in hell. An infinite abyss. That was the description of this place. An abyss that you couldn't see the end of, surrounded by the most hideous and powerful creatures in hell. Even the demons dare not approach this place because of the danger. Another reason why demons do not approach this place is because its leaders, the primordials, forbid and kill anyone who disobeys. In addition, talking about this place is considered taboo. Few know, but if you go to the bottom of this abyss, you will find a gigantic glowing cube. The glow from this cube is so strong that it would reach an ordinary human. The cube has many circles and magic chains with powerful sealing spells. But today, crack, the cube cracked. It cracked several times until it broke and the sound was deafening. When the cube opened, 6 shadows emerged from inside. Oh, why is this happening? I don't know, but I liked it. I thought I could rest here a little longer, yawn. Shut up, Belphegor. Now we can loot everything. Shut up, you guys, we have a visitor. Warming up. What did you say? The 6 men were arguing, but the visitor interrupted them. It was a man with blue clothes and hair. Let me introduce myself. I am Velda and I would like your services. In return I could help you get revenge. Velda spoke in a direct tone. The 6 men looked at each other and one of them said, How did you find us, and how did you free us? About that. Metatron is dead and how he was keeping much of this barrier. I was able to break it. They were thoughtful and one of them said, Metatron is dead. I wish I had done that. How jealous. By the way, did you say something about revenge? I would like to hear more about that. Yes. If you help me I can help you get revenge. On the 7 archangels and the 7 demons of the progenitor colors. What do you think? In my opinion, we would gain a lot from it. One of the men asked and they replied, I think it's a good idea, Mamam. For me, we would stay here and sleep, but there is nothing to do. Two of them agreed and the others were thoughtful. The man called Mamam turned to the others and said, "Come on, people." Even Asmodeus and Belphegor agreed. "Sathaniel, don't you want revenge?" "Huh? Yes, I really want to kill that Lucifer traitor, let's accept." There were only two more to accept and Mamam said, "You know, Beelzebub, our enemies must have acquired some interesting powers in that time. Wouldn't it be fun to devour them?" "Huh? Let's accept," Beelzebub excitedly agreed, and there was only one left. However, Mamam didn't need to say anything to that one. "All of you are going to accept. Then I'll go too. If I'm the only one who doesn't take revenge, I'll explode with envy." "Good for you, Leviathan. No fight then." Mamam smiled and turned to Velda. "We the sinful kings accept your proposal.